Hello, everyone. Welcome to Why Am I Yelling? I am Krista, and today is, I don't even know, Thursday, and we are talking about teenagers. Yes, I said it. I said it out loud. I said the T word. So buckle up because I just came home from speaking at Career Day at my son's high school, and I have a lot to say about that. But let me back up because this morning I was just wondering um, how it turns out that you are like the single most hated person on the planet by your children or your child or your teenager for doing nothing. Um, and I know most moms out there are raising their hands and they're like, that's me. I feel your pain. I know what you're talking about. Um, and I wrote about this in my book and the adolescent part of relationships chapter or section, because I had been doing research on, adolescence and all that stuff when I was writing it. And, you know, these teen years are the most formidable years for our kids. And they're growing and they're learning and it's emotional and physical and hormonal and all of the things. And they don't know how to channel that energy and they don't know how to use that energy. And it's eye-opening when, you're in it with your own kids, but when you are exposed to other kids that come from a bunch of different demographics and different backgrounds, it really is, it's eye-opening. So today I was a presenter at Career Day at my son's high school. And we had two periods. It was me, and there were two speakers in each classroom. And I spoke to two freshman classes. None of them included Wyatt, which was great because he was like, "You better not be coming to my class because I don't want you in my class," which, always makes a mother feel warm and fuzzy. So good. Um, but I will say this, the classes that I were in really exposed me to what it's like to be a high school teacher. Because as somebody who's spent a lot of time in elementary schools and middle schools, I haven't really dipped my toes into high school other than being in high school when I was in high school 30 years ago. So uh, it's different now. They have phones, they have technology, they have distraction, they have all that stuff. And they are a little bit disrespectful. Some of them were a little bit disrespectful. The phones were actually out. I had to tell a couple of kids to put their phones away or remind them to pay attention and look up. So we had to have a, you know, distraction conversation as part of my talk. I was there to talk about, how I became a coach. And so I talked about my life prior to, because I've only been doing this for like 5 years, right? So talked about my corporate experience and my college experience and what it was like going to college, because a lot of these kids, um, they don't know what that's like, and their parents didn't go to college, or some of their parents did go to college, but they don't really like, talk about it and that kind of stuff. So it was really interesting and very aware inducing for me. The diversity in my son's high school is vast. He's probably the minority, um, which is fine. And I think that that is a strength building and character building uh, trait to have, or if that's what you want to call it, because I think that being exposed to and around other cultures and other, um, and having diversity is just really important. I wasn't interested in having him go to a school where everybody looked like him and came from the same background as him. I wanted him to experience what it was like to have kids that were more privileged and less privileged and from different cultures and different backgrounds that spoke different languages. And I think that has served him well throughout his educational career, and I think it will continue to serve him well as he, grows and matures into an adult and into like the real world and of adulting, because that's fun. Um, but it really does give a parent pause when you walk into a classroom and there are, kids not paying attention to the teacher who's speaking. I mean, if that ever happened when I was in high school and lower grades, we would have gotten our arms chopped off. And I didn't go to private school. I did go to private school for a lot of it, but for the second half of it, I did not. Um, just I feel like there's a lot of disrespect there, and I don't know how we get it back. I think that I the other guy that I was talking to was actually an alum of the high school. He graduated there in 2005, and now he's an attorney, and he was explaining his path, and he said the mistakes he made in high school because he wasn't a great student was not paying attention in class and putting too much emphasis on his social life and what he was wearing and like that kind of stuff, and he wishes that he had an opportunity to go back and rectify that and do better in school. So we were talking about the importance of good grades and education and life experience, the life experience that they're gaining now that they can use on into college and when they get jobs and all that stuff, and they shouldn't discount this part of their life because it is a really important time for them. And I think for the kids who we did affect today, because I know that we did, I think they got it. I think something clicked in their brains. There were kids that were asking questions. They were very engaging. They were, including dialogue. They were answering questions. And those are the kids that I don't worry about, right? Because that they're curious and they want to learn and that education is important to them. And, even though school is a drag because, you remember when you were in high school and it was a drag, um, they knew that they were there to gain experience and gain knowledge. And then there were the other kids who I just think are there just to be there. And those are the kids that you want to penetrate. Those are the ones who you want to have pay attention. Those are the kids who you want to spend a little bit of extra time with because you don't know really anything about them and you don't know why they are being so distracted. Is it because they have fear of missing out and they want to know what's going on all the time because these things are dangerous? Yes, they are. I've said it out loud. For as great of a tool as it is to have technology, I think it's hurting our kids. I was just on the phone with somebody who was saying to me, her kid puts his phone down at 10 o'clock at night. And when she gets up in the morning, all their phones are downstairs. When she gets up in the morning, she checks she will look at a phone and there'll be texts on there at 12:30 in the morning. Like why are you, and her kid's also in high school. So why are you texting at 12 o'clock in the morning? Like there's no reason for that. So I think that, we as parents have to do a better job of being more vigilant. And we've seen this a lot in studies about technology and the way we're communicating with our kids. And I think that we have to really spend our time and be present with them. And even though we are the worst people on the planet for them, parents, we kind of have to find a way to allow them to be themselves, to encourage them to be themselves, to encourage individuality and for them to have their own ideas and for them to, you know, follow their path and their dreams because you've already lived yours and you're living yours. So you should let them live theirs. But encourage dialogue and let them speak when it's time, when they feel like they're ready to like talk, and don't interrupt them, and be a sounding board for them and encourage them to. I said three things to them today that I always say to my kids. I said, make good choices, and I explained why. And I said, be happy, and I explained why. And I said, and I love you because the world needs more love. And love is not just reserved for the people, your mom and your dad, or your sister or your brother. Love is reserved for no one. You should spread your love because that's what the world needs more of. So I think if we start there by teaching our children to make good choices and do unto others as they would have done unto them, and be happy and follow their dreams and engage in what they want to engage in that brings them joy, finding, an outlet for them to explore their likes and the things that they want to try, um, and spread love. And I think that is a good learning lesson for today for all of us, and the fact that tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So I love you, and I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. And if you have a teenager, give them a hug today and tell them you love them, and then walk away because they might push you. You know what I'm talking about. See you back here tomorrow for Why Am I Yelling Live. We have a really great guest, and I cannot wait to talk to her. So we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.